And I apologize. We're going to get quorum in a second. Thank you all for your patience. Good morning and welcome to the April 23rd meeting of the City Utilities Committee. I'm joined by my colleagues to my left, Councilmember Byron Amos, Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, and to my right, the Vice Chair, Councilmember Shook. I'll entertain a motion to start the meeting. So move. Second. Moving properly second. Mr. Johnson, please open the vote.
Mr. Chair, this is a motion to adopt the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. The vote is open.
Mr. Johnson, before I apologize. Keep going.
The vote is closed. 4 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda has been adopted.
And if my colleagues have no objection, Mr. Johnson, before we start the meeting, before we get into our call, can you please sound the caption for our guests?
Mr. Chair, we will approve the minutes, and then we will take public comment, and then we will jump to proceed to our communication, and then we'll proceed with our regular agenda.
Gotcha. Thank you. So move. It's been moving properly second by Mr. Matt Westmoreland.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 4 yeas, 0 nays. The minutes have been approved. Mr. Chair, we currently have no one signed up for public comment.
Thank you. Please sound the caption.
This takes us to page 6, item number 13, and papers held in committee. Item number 13, 24C 5049. A communication from council members Dustin Hillis, District 9, and Andre L. Boone, District 10, appointing Mr. Anthony Wilson II to serve as a member of the Solid Waste Appeals Board. This appointment is for a term of 4 years.
Is Mr. Wilson here?
Yes.
Please come up and tell us a little about yourself. Tell us why you want to serve.
Good morning, how y'all doing?
Good morning.
My name is Anthony Wilson. I am a resident of District 10. I've been an Atlanta resident for almost 4 years now and really looking forward to figuring out how I might give back to my community in different ways. I serve currently as a nonprofit leader of equity and education, and so really want to figure out how I serve my city in different capacities.
Are there any questions from my colleagues? Well, we've been joined by the Honorable Councilmember Andrea Boone.
Yes, I would like to just commend Mr. Wilson on all of he has offered to the city of Atlanta and District 10 since he has been in Atlanta. Young, bright, new energy. And I hope you bring that same energy to this very important commission. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Been moved and properly second. Moved by Councilmember Boone, second by Councilmember Matt Westmoreland. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. This takes us back to our consent agenda. Section F, ordinance for first reading. Item number 1, 24-01192, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the FY 2024 Water Wastewater Renewal and Extension Fund budget an amount of $2,700,000.00 to transfer funds from watershed reserves for appropriations and add funds to the CCTV upgrade project and for other purposes. Item number 2, 24-01193, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee waiving the requirements of Section 2-910 of the Atlanta City Code to retroactively authorize the mayor's designee, including the commissioner of the Department of Watershed Management, on behalf of the City of Atlanta to apply for funding from the United States Environmental Protection Agency's fiscal year 2024 Climate Pollution Reduction Grants Program in an amount of $175,000.00 for the purpose of diverting gas emissions in landfills and carbon dioxide due to transport to renewable energy and for other purposes. This takes us to our regular agenda, Section G, ordinance for second reading. Item number 3, 24-01163, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee waiving Part 2, Code of Ordinances, General Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code, Division 4 of the Atlanta City Code to ratify services rendered in connection with Agreement FC 8919, Annual Contract for Security Guard Services with Thorpe Building Services Incorporated, All-in-One Security Services Incorporated, a joint venture beginning March 14, 2024, through the execution of the Fifth Amendment to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute the Fifth Amendment to the agreement on behalf of the Departments of Watershed Management, Public Works, and Transportation, to extend the term of the agreement for a period of 90 days, retroactively effective from March 14, 2024 through June 12, 2024, an amount not to exceed $2,223,540.00. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Anything from the department?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Chairman Lewis and council members. Sterling Graham, Department of Watershed Management, Director for the Office of Safety, Security, and Emergency Management. Purposes of legislation is to amend FC 8919, Annual Contract for Security Guard Services, through which security services are provided for watershed management, public works, and ATL DOT on a month-to-month basis for a period of 90 days. To allow the department to finalize and execute 2 replacement agreements. The agreement covers 43 critical water sites, as well as 31 remote sites. Most of it is dealing with critical infrastructure or high priority sites for sister departments. The solicitation for the replacement solicitation for this agreement is in the evaluation phase. So we do expect it to be requested for award in the next 90 days. The contract's base cost didn't increase, approximately for watershed management, $1.2 million, $163,000 for ATL DOT, fleet services, $386,000, $134,000 for solid waste services. This concludes my remarks. I'll be happy to address any questions that you may have at this time.
We'll start with Vice Chair Shook.
Thank you. Is this funded from the security surcharge?
No, sir. So the security surcharge is funding the physical security and the CCTV upgrades that we're putting in place. Things like SCADA, various fencing replacements, or fencing upgrades at the facilities.
Thank you.
Mr. Amos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Where you may not know the answer to this question, but I'd definitely like for you to get it to me. Where did we go separate tracks? I remember when this RFP came out. What is causing us to extend this contract, considering we have an RFP on the street?
Yeah, it's a great question. So this particular agreement is replacing the new agreements are replacing this agreement. So we did strip out the remote security portion of it, which is the highly technical portion of it, out of the original agreement to address some specialized requirements from Homeland Security dealing with the cameras that our vendors will be using to make sure that they're in compliance. So we do have the security guard services, which is really the bulk of the original agreement, but we did expand upon the remote security portion of it just to make sure that was up to compliance for DHS.
And for a term of 3 months?
Yes, so we're in the evaluation phase. So we did advertise this, and we did get respondents back. It's highly competitive. There were some requests for information for compliance and DOP. So 90 days is the period that we're requesting to request, award, and execute this agreement.
I'm just thinking about the cost for the entire thing. Move approval. Second by Councilmember Matt Westmoreland.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Mr. Chair, item number 4 requires a substitute. The substitute changes the caption. May we have a motion to bring forth a substitute?
So moved. Second by Vice Chair Shook.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The substitute is brought before you. The substitute provides that the $300,000 allocation is derived from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and also incorporates the account information. Item number 4, 24-01188, an ordinance by Council Members Liliana Bakhtiari and Alex Wan, as substituted by City Utilities Committee, authorizing Chief Financial Officer to create an Atlanta Community Energy Trust Fund department organization numbers within the Oracle financial system for the purpose of funding strategies identified by the Clean Energy Plan, authorizing use of Atlanta Community Energy Fund to receive future funds from the variety of sources, including but not limited to city appropriations, funds generated from the sale of renewable energy credits, and federal funding opportunities, authorizing Chief Financial Officer to transfer $300,000 from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund to the trust fund account created hereby and for other purposes.
Moved by Councilmember Shook, second by Councilmember Amos. Please open the vote. Whoa, 1 second, Councilmember Westmoreland has a statement.
A question more if anyone here can answer. I'm just curious about how we landed at this initial allocation. I'm going to support it. I was just curious where it came from.
Got to remove.
Good morning, council members. Chandra Farley, Chief Sustainability Officer. The initial allocation was landed on really as an effort to get the funding mechanism established and to make sure that that mechanism was able to receive multiple types of funds. So now that we've got that mechanism established and we have multiple funds coming in, we'll be able to begin to continue advocating for increase in dollars.
Makes sense. Thank you.
It's been moved by Councilmember Shook, second by Councilmember Amos. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable on substitute. This takes us to Section H, resolutions. Item number 5, 24R3456. A resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or designee to execute agreement listed herein, process upgrades and project management services with Brown and Caldwell S.L. King, a joint venture, on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for a term of 3 years with 2 one-year renewal options, an amount not to exceed $2,500,000.00. All contracted work we charge to and pay from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. And Mr. Chair, this item will need to be held in order to receive the IPA report.
Been moving, second by Councilmember Westmoreland. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is held in committee. Item number 6, 24R3457. A resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or designee to enter into a memorandum of understanding and contract item agreement with the State of Georgia Department of Transportation on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for the purpose of adjusting water and sewer infrastructure that conflicts with the Department of Transportation's milling and resurfacing project along State Route 70 from State Route 139 to State Route 8 in Fulton County, in the amount not to exceed $192,471.78. All contracted work we charge to and pay from the fund, department, organization, and account number listed herein and for other purposes. And Mr. Chair, this item needs to be held at the request of the department.
It's moving properly second. Moved by Councilmember Lewis, second by Councilmember Matt Westmoreland. Please open the vote. Mr. Johnson, please.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is held in committee. Mr. Chair, that takes us back to our papers held in committee. Item number 7 on page 4, 23-01445, an ordinance by Councilmember Keisha Shawn Waits to amend Chapter 130, Solid Waste Management, Article 1 in general, Section 130-12, Enforcement Violations and Penalties to update fine provisions for failure to maintain public or privately owned property and for other purposes. And Mr. Chair, the department requests that this item be filed.
Been moved. Properly moved by Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, second by Holt. We actually have a little discussion. Councilmember Amos.
Yes, Mr. Chair, if there's someone from the department that can explain to why we are fouling this paper.
Actually, this motion to hold since the. Actually, let's move to hold since no one.
Draw my motion to file.
So make a motion to hold, and then we can get that.
Councilmember Amos, the paper's already held.
It's already held.
You can
so
just-
it's
We'll
good.
leave it in here. Nobody's here to do it.
Yeah.
One sec, Councilmember Shook, please.
You know, at the risk of trying to speak for others, remember what this paper does, which is it establishes a minimum fine of $1,000. And I'm unaware of any excitement about doing that.
So I withdraw my motion.
And I will put a motion to file.
Second. It's been moved by council, looking at the parliamentarian.
And now we're redoing it.
So it's been moved by Councilmember Amos, second by Councilmember Lewis, to file this piece of legislation. We don't even need to hear from the department right now. Mr. Johnson, please open the vote.
The vote is open. Vote is closed. 4 yeas, 1 nay. This item is filed in committee. Mr. Chair, we have one walk-in. May I sound the caption?
Please.
Elms ID number 35208, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Public Works to amend Code Section 130-84 of Chapter 130, Solid Waste Management, Article 3, Municipal Collections and Disposal System, Division 4, Rates and Charges of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances to adjust the taxes, assessments, services, charges for solid waste services specified therein and for other purposes. And this is the first read, so there's no action taken.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that concludes our legislative items for today.
So we got a statement from Councilmember Amos.
Yes, Mr. Chair. At our next meeting, could you or have someone from the administration to give us an update to where we are on Channel 26 and a timeline to actually bring us back on the air?
And I would say that I was able to talk before this meeting, and we discussed actually having a town hall or conversation in here between the months of June and July. And so that gives us a time frame. So between the months of June and July, we can say that out loud. And do we have any other announcements from? I want to tell Councilmember Michael Julian Bond happy birthday again, because he says the entire month is his birthday. He's been such a nice person to me throughout this time period. So happy birthday again, Mr. Michael Julian Bond, if you're watching. It's been moved by Councilmember Amos, second by Councilmember Matt Westmoreland. Please open the vote. Let's go on.